This day kind of trolled us. It looked really flat and nice, and then when we got out to our first zone, it was not awesome. Not terrible, but definitely fishable. I could see bottom. This was a little bit deeper, maybe 40-45 feet, so not too deep at all, but there was a nice plankton column at the surface. After I dropped maybe like 10 or so feet, it did clear up, and visibility is better. Again, it's fishable, not great, wasn't my ideal kind of day. Just going down to check it out, see what's around. Not a ton of healthy coral, but also, again, not a dead reef. I didn't see much on the first drop, just there were a couple small moo that were running as soon as I came down. I did try and drop down. There were some, not big moo, but I was willing to shoot them. I've been doing a little bit more research on all the fishes I hunt, and for moo, they actually reach reproductive size at just over 11.9 inches. So just under a foot long is when they're reproductively active. That can be a good time to hunt them. When fishes are at their reproductive size, or at least 50% of them are reproductively active, kind of the teenager area, that's sort of an ideal target size because they're not so big that they're contributing a ton to the gene pool, but they've had a chance to contribute their genetics. So yeah, shooting some of the middle to smaller size fish can actually be beneficial, but just straight up missing them like I did there is also beneficial to the population. I'd been swimming around for about an hour at this point, hadn't seen much else, and there was a decent sized roy in the hole, and took a top down shot that you can barely see, but did manage to plug it. I kind of figured, well, least I can do while I'm out here is just clean up whatever roy or bass is not seeing anything else that I prefer to shoot. And this was a pretty chunky fish. I didn't really want to swim around with it on my belt. I didn't feel like dragging that much weight, so I went ahead, cut it open, chunked some of the guts, and tossed it out to see if anything came in for it. At this point, I hadn't shot anything I was happy with, but we were about to head back to the boat and move areas, and I took kind of a blind drop just in the green, and as I was dropping, spotted this uhu, which you can barely see, but that's how good her camouflage is, and this is with a little bit of color correction on the video. Lined up, and I was pretty sure she was going to come off. I could see that the shaft hadn't fully penetrated with the flopper engaged, so I immediately grabbed it, pointed it towards the surface, and tried to bum rush the surface, only to find out that the shaft was so heavily stuck in there that it took me a good couple minutes to actually get it dislodged. So, nice holding shot. I was happy. I had a fish. Generally, as soon as I shoot one good fish, I'm a lot mellower for the rest of the day. But there she is. Ended up being about 5 pounds. While waiting for my other dive buddies to get back to the boat, I was just kind of swimming around in circles and spotted another good-sized roy. Figured might as well plug them, try and get an equal amount of weight of invasives off the reef as native fish that I shoot. And this was an easy top-down shot. I miss a lot of these, but also when it's, over sand and it's roy, I don't care as much. But this raw ballad shaft that I'm using on my Kaukau stick, I have abused the crap out of these, and they hold up really, really well. I am a big fan of them. Haven't had any bend or break on me yet, unlike some of the other shafts I've used. We moved out of this deeper reef area and moved to a shallower section. This is maybe like 15 to 18 feet is my guess. I dropped down and immediately there was some moo to my right that I didn't pay attention to at first. Tried to sort of post up in this hole, but wasn't having much success at being discreet. I am large and loud and fail a lot of the time at stealth hunting, and I'm better at weird dive bombs and odd mid-water column shots. Tried to grunt some of the fish in, scratch them in a little bit, didn't get much response from them. Just sort of stalking this moo, seeing if there were any bigger ones, and you do see the bigger ones coming in the back. At this point, I was pretty tired. As with most of my dives, I'm running on like 3 hours of sleep, and I'm usually fairly dehydrated. But, oh well, just let them go, and then came back down for another attempt in this clear area. I did spot some more moo. So I was doing more research on moo, and they do actually have a spawning period between May and August. So if you are going to kind of give some of the fish populations a break, May to August would be a good one to not hunt those moo just because it is their spawning period. This species isn't assessed as being overfished, but just as something to be mindful of. Maybe cool it on May and August for moo, or, limit the amount that you're shooting. Or you can do what I do and dust and grunt and fluff and do all the things and then have nothing come in and scare them all away and then just miss all your shots. That's also really helpful for the population, like right here. I got pretty annoyed after that and was just dropping down. There were some really big, really stupid moo right in this hole, in this nice little sandy patch. They were giving me every opportunity, and I was trying to dial in, focus on them, kind of hide behind this rock, get them a little bit closer, turn to my left, didn't see anything, just waiting for them to come back in. They were really, really dumb, not spooked at all. And then I turned and saw this good-sized shadow coming in, and it was a big blue uhu. I failed utterly here. Tried to close a little bit, thought I had the shot, hit it, center body, you can see scales floating away there. As soon as it came off, these moo came back in, and the white tips did. This was literally within 5 to 10 seconds of screwing up that shot. You can see my shaft isn't even reloaded yet. And this pair of white tips came in and immediately started searching the area for that blue. I hope they got it. I guess. They did spook away all the other fish in the area, and that sucked. And then I saw this blue speck uhu and proceeded to line up. He gave me an easy shot, and then I twitched weird and missed. At this point, I was frustrated and exhausted. Coming in on our boat, we had actually run into one of our other friends who was heading out on a kayak, and like a dumbass, I decided that I was just gonna stay out longer, so got let off the boat, and then came back with my buddy on the kayak, but ended up being like a 7 or 8 hour dive day, and I was running on 2.5, 3 hours of sleep, so I'm absolutely exhausted at this point. This is probably hour 7. I'm just trying to line up on any other fish, find this uhu, and then just fail again. I don't know what it is, just my aim was a little bit low pretty much every shot. And I ended up shooting this Nanue off camera. That was just kind of a random one. It was a good sized fish. I like making burgers out of them. So I was feeling a little bit better after that Nanue. And then ended up spotting that blue uhu again, the blue speck. And he just oblivious, didn't care, gave me a really easy shot, but I couldn't see where I hit it, so let go of the gun, try and reduce that tension, was able to get it out of the hole, and then secure the fish. I got pretty lucky on this one. It was a good holding shot through the, through the gill, out the mouth. I've been running this shot quite a bit on. Really pretty fish. I think that they're absolutely gorgeous. I think they taste great. If I make another prosthetic mermaid tail, I might model one after these guys. I think that they're really, really cool and absolutely delicious. Or, it would be really fun to actually hook and line one and raise one in a pond. But this one was pretty chunky, pretty fat, gorgeous colors. This kind of made my day worth it, because after shooting that one fish at the beginning of the day, didn't really shoot anything good until the very end. So, nice little 8 hour haul, and then the other uhu was in our quarterback.